What's up, you guys? Matt Jablonski here with The Point of Change. I'm going to hang out for just a couple minutes and we'll see if frickin' Zuckerberg's got his shit in order out there, if he wants to send out some notifications to people or not, or if this live video even wants to work, or we'll see. We'll see if Zuckerberg holds up his end of the deal on this whole Facebook thing. Just tried to go live with Anna Tossel over on Sealed Lips Destroy, if anybody tuned into that or tried to tune into the 4 videos that we just made. Thank you for the attempt in hanging out with us. I appreciate everybody that supports me and follows this page and tries to show up and show out, you know, even though Zuckerberg's kind of an asshole and his platform kind of sucks a little bit, and sometimes it's got a lot more cons than pros to it. Sometimes it feels like, but can't turn into too much of a negative Nancy about it, right? He gives me a free platform here to spread a good message and help people. So I appreciate that for sure. But sometimes the bugs and kinks definitely get in your head. Definitely fucks with you, you know, makes you think that, is this all worth it? You son of a bitch. But we tried. We tried every single way, man. We tried to make it work sideways. We tried to do upright. We tried 4 different videos. We tried this. We tried that. Whatever. You know. So, you know, I like scheduling things and then having them not work. You know, that's the whole reason I was like, you know, I'm gonna schedule Monday morning to be over on Sealed Lips Destroy and share my story with Anna. You know, somebody I really like and appreciate and like what she does over there. But then, you know, I don't really actually want it to work. You know what I mean? I just want it to be like a tease for people. I want people to like think we're gonna do something cool and then like not do something cool because Zuckerberg shows up, fucks up everything. Whatever, Zuckerberg. You know what? Zuck you, fuckerberg. I don't even care. I didn't want to make a live video today. That's why I was like, cool. I'm so glad this didn't work. That's why I like to schedule things that I don't want to do. There goes your check-in? Shaquan? What is this, Mike? Sealed Lips Destroy. Where do I get one of your shirts? You go to Spreadshirt. How is that? How does it work? I can't remember the exact. Let me pull it up over here. I hope I'm still live. If you could still hear me, I'm still here. I just pulled up another window. Hang on. Let me get over to my account here. It's not even up. I'm not even logged in. I believe it's spreadshirt.com/thepointofchange. But it might be shop.spreadshirt.com/thepointofchange, which is kind of a mouthful, but I think that might be what it is. Either that or it's the point of change /spreadshirt. I don't remember. I'm terrible. There is a link to my merchandise. If you go to the Point of Change, the very top pinned post is like some stuff about the page and stuff like that. I haven't updated that in a long time though, so I can't vouch for everything that it says. But it does have links to my merchandise and stuff like that on there. Anna, we tried. We freaking tried. We tried sideways. We tried up and down. We tried backing out. We tried restarting our phones. We tried everything that we could possibly do within our grasp to get this video made this morning. So we can, at least we know that our side of the street is clean, but we know that we got a dirty player in the game. Zuckerberg's out there. Melissa, I'm trying to send stars, but my phone is lagging. See, more problems that Zuckerberg instills in my life. I can't vouch for nothing that happens on Facebook anymore, guys. I can't vouch for him. I have no idea what he's doing back there. I have no idea how he does things or how he makes things up or what he does. I can't vouch for Zuckerberg. Like even this, you know, like sometimes I'm like, you know I have 15,000 followers. I know I do. It tells me almost on a daily basis, you've had increased reach for 84 days now, and you have over 15,000 followers. It sends me notifications just to remind me of that. And then Zuckerberg's like, yeah, but you know, I know you got 15,000 followers, but I'm not really going to I'm not going to tell any of them that you do things though. I'm just going to sit over here in my dirty pee pants and they can check out other stuff while you go live. You know, like you couldn't tell a person, couldn't tell anybody, couldn't send out the damn invites, huh? Pickle butt recovery, says Sealed Lips Destroy. Yes, I don't care what a person does to live a better life. If sticking a pickle in your butt makes you a better person, then stick the pickle. That's what we say around here at the Point of Change. It's all about pickles. I get a lot of, ever since that come around, I get a lot of pickles sent to me in the mail. My followers like to send me pickles. My most recent, let me see, which way can I go here? My most recent addition to the pickle family is back there in that picture frame in the corner. You can't see it, but Brian O'Brien sent me a hand crocheted picture of 2 pickles. And then if you can see him down there on the ground, that's Mr. Pickle there with his cowboy hat on. So we like our pickle butt recovery around here. And if you've never heard it or seen one, which I'm going to guess that you haven't seen one, this is a yodeling pickle. That's right. You heard that correctly. This is a yodeling pickle. Ta-da! The thing you didn't know you needed today. You had no idea. You woke up this morning thinking, you know, out of all the things that are going to happen to me today, I guarantee I'm not going to see a pickle yodeling. That is one thing that I can tell you. But you know what? You'd have been wrong. If you'd have thought that this morning, you'd have been wrong. You got to see a yodeling pickle. And then I got this pen. This is actually a pickle pen. And it's kind of a big deal. I don't know if you've heard about pickle pens, but they're kind of a big deal. Yeah, and we're all about the pickle butt recovery around here. I didn't know about the pickles, says Sealed Lips Destroy. Right on, Anna. Well, now you do. And if you want to get yourself a pickle butt recovery shirt, you go over there. She dropped a link up there to my merchandise. If you go to my merchandise, you can get pickle butt recovery merch. You can get the Point of Change merch. For a while there, we had I Love Jesus and Weed t-shirts, but that was a fan-made thing, and we had them for a limited time. Someday we might bring them back. We might bring them back. If I ever find more demand for I Love Jesus and Weed shirts, I will bring them back. But for now, we're going to stick with pickle butt recovery and the Point of Change. What's the meaning, message, and mission of the Point of Change? Ooh, I'm going to break that down for you. The meaning of the Point of Change is, it's a multi-headed monster right there, okay? The Point of Change for me means it can be someone's rock bottom. That's a big one that has taken on a new life here at the Point of Change, is that people, instead of saying when I reached my rock bottom, they say when I reach my point of change. And I think that's beautiful, because a lot of times you find out, you think you're at rock bottom, and then you find out you can go lower. Other times people didn't actually go to what we would necessarily call a rock bottom, and they still found recovery. So for me, and for a lot of people who've used this term now, the Point of Change is better fitting than rock bottom. For myself, the Point of Change for me was not my rock bottom. The actual Point of Change was when my father passed away. When my father passed away, that was when I realized that I needed recovery to be real. I needed to actually make this work. And in that time frame there was, I would say it was a couple months worth of time there where my mind was being worked on. And that was when, I was doing the recovery thing. I was doing counseling. I was doing all this stuff, and, you know, keeping a job and everything. But I wasn't actually, like, it hadn't set in, you know. I was still doing things because I knew this is what I was supposed to do, not doing it because I wanted to do it or because I seen the value in it or anything. I was just doing it because I knew this is what a normal human should do. Keep a job, pay your bills, talk to your family, stuff like that. So the Point of Change for me was me realizing that this was important, me actually having that switch flip in my brain, and realizing that I needed to make recovery work for me, and I needed to find more support system. And it actually came when I started this page. I started this page. The original name of this page was Matthew Jablonski, Motivational Speaker. I know, a hell of a mouthful, right? But that was the original name of this page. But when you make a Facebook page, they have you fill in your title of your page, and then you get your tag, right? Your Facebook tag, which is like at whatever. That's what it is. So when I created this page, I entered the title, Matthew Jablonski, Motivational Speaker, and then underneath it, it said at blank. And I'm kind of a punny guy. I'm kind of a, I like to have something that's got a deeper meaning to it all the time. I like things that have double meaning, stuff like that. So I sat there for quite a while just looking at it like Matthew Jablonski, motivational speaker at blank. And I was like, at first I thought, well, you know what I should do? I should change the name of the page to M and then have it be M at TTY so that it's Maddie. And then I was like, no, that's stupid. So I decided not to do that, but I sat there staring at it and I was like, okay, so I'm Matthew Jablonski, motivational speaker at what? What am I at right now? And the first thing that popped into my brain was, I guess I'm kind of at the point of change right now. And it was like, that's perfect. So I put it in there, just Matthew Jablonski, motivational speaker at the point of change. And then it was, a little over a year or so into doing this that somebody that I did a speaking engagement for reached out to me, and she was like, hey, just an idea. You should change the name of your page to the point of change, and kind of explained the pros that she saw in that. And I agreed with her, and I thought that was an excellent idea. So I went ahead and did the thing to change my page name to the point of change. The message of the point of change is summed up in pickle butt recovery. That recovery knows no bounds, and that what one person does to live a better life is their business, and we take our own inventories. That there are multiple pathways of recovery. It doesn't have to just be what we get shoved in our face with NA and AA, although I have an infinite respect for the programs and the people that find recovery that way. I think that's wonderful. That's awesome. But there are multiple pathways to recovery. There are other programs. There's doing this yourself. There's harm reduction. And none of the stipulations that people say, well, you have to have X, Y, and Z or you're not recovering. Well, whatever rules you can come up with, I can find somebody who's who doesn't fit that, who that rule didn't work for them, or they don't do that in their recovery, and they're still recovering. They're living a better life than they were before. That's the frickin' definition of recovery right there. They may not be completely abstinent. They may not go to meetings. They may not have a sponsor. They may not do this. They may not do that, but they're still living a better life. So I guess the main message of the point of change is that recovery knows no bounds. Whatever is happening in your life, wherever you've been, whether it's drug addiction, gambling, sex, porn, we all have different things that take us down. Anger, our different emotions that we have to conquer, character defects, personal sin, all that stuff that we struggle with and that we conquer over. That's what the point of change is here for. And that we all may be on different roads. We all may have chose a different path, but we all have the same destination, living a better life than we were before. So unity is a big part of the point of change. The mission of the point of change, good question. To raise awareness for drug addiction, to let people know whether they are in active addiction or in recovery, that you're not alone, that there are people out there who love you and support you, that you can share, you can be open, that it doesn't have to be all anonymous, but that's okay too. But what exactly is I don't know if I'm summing up our mission very well here. Mainly just to educate, entertain, and embrace the recovery community, right? I want to educate people. I want people to know not only about different pathways of recovery, but of just different little things that you can change in your life, because many changes equal one big change. It takes multiple tiny little things. Changing a bunch of different stuff about yourself on like a micro level will add up to this change that happens inside of you. And to help and guide people along that path, and to root for the underdog, because a lot of people have, your recovery doesn't match up with what mainstream recovery programs say you should be doing or how it should work. And in a lot of cases, it's funny how people that are doing that, sometimes they ostracize and separate themselves and isolate. But other times you can feel like you are being ostracized and pushed away by the recovery community because of little things that they don't see that you're doing right. And I guess I seen the stigma that existed within the recovery world itself. A lot of people in the recovery world focus on fighting the stigma of the general public and their view of recovery or their view of addicts. Myself, I realized that, we can do, that's great too, but there's a lot of stigma right here within our own doors. We got a lot of people right here that are, being faced with stigma on a daily basis from the rest of the recovery community. And I wanted to be a supportive person for them, because I had plenty of people in my early recovery that found out the parameters of my recovery, and they would tell me, one guy told me, if you don't get involved with a program, I give you a 0% success. I give you a 0% chance of making this work. And I was like, fuck you. Like, that's a really shitty thing to say to somebody, to tell them, well, hey, you either do it this way or you have zero chance of making it. And things like that really shaped and molded me to be the person that I am today. I'm thankful for that person saying that to me, because it gave me that attitude of realizing, maybe you don't agree with the way I'm doing my recovery, but at least wish me well, at least wish me good luck, at least have high hopes that, hey, maybe you'll make this fucking work for you, man. That's great, dude. If you can make it work for you, more power to you. If you come at me with the attitude of, oh, you're going to fail, well, what the hell does that do for anybody? That does nothing for nobody. If you're just telling people they're going to fail, how do you know they weren't going to fail, and you telling them they're going to fail made them fail? You know what I'm saying? If you can be supportive and encourage people, I think people really surprise you when they have a little encouragement and they have some people behind them, even if they're doing it non-traditionally, even if they're doing it ways that, that are different for me, whatever. It's like, I just encourage people. I don't want to create or change you into the person that I think you should be. I want you to reach your own personal goals, and I'm here to encourage you along the way to how to get to those goals and offer you advice and experience along the way. But I'm in no way like, well, you got to be like me, or you got to do it my way, and then because then I'm just manipulating you and turning you into the person that I think you need to be. And I don't want you to be the person that I think you need to be. I want you to be the person that you want to be. And I want you to live a better life than you lived before. And I want you to be happy and realize that there is a life worth living after addiction. Because when I was in my active addiction, that was the last thing I thought. I was like, dude, I'm screwed now. Like, I'm addicted to meth. I smoked my teeth out of my head. Like, not a lot of people out there that are like, boy, after I picked up that hardcore meth addiction, my life really took off after that. That's what I told my PO that one time. So for me, seeing that it was possible, when I was in jail and I went to an NA meeting, and the guy that was leading the meeting told his story. And like I said, I'm not in NA now. I obviously went a different way than the program, but NA really helped me in the beginning. It helped me to see that this was possible, that somebody who was going down the road that I was came back and now is living a good life, married, has kids, has a wife, has a house, and is, speaking out against addiction, and seems like he's happy, to me, that was huge to see that. It was huge for me to see that. And after finding out that it is possible, that was mind-blowing stuff. Mind-blowing stuff. A lot of people are like, it just seems like common sense. Like, because from an outside perspective, you're like, well, yeah, we see a lot of people doing the recovery thing. But when you're in a life of active addiction, you got tunnel vision, man. Like, everybody is using drugs. Everybody that you hang out with is using drugs. It starts to give you the mindset that everybody's doing drugs. And then the few people that you see in your active addiction that actually try to make it into recovery, if they make it work for them, you never see them again. So you don't know that worked for them, and you don't hear about it. If it doesn't work for them and then they end up relapsing and back using with you, that plays into your delusion that everybody is an addict and that everybody's on drugs and that you can't make it out of this, because here comes another person who is like, yeah, I was sober for a few months, but I slipped up and I screwed up, and now you're back smoking meth with them again. So that plays right into your delusion of, no, well, there is no making it out. See, he tried and he's back in it. So it's a whole world of stuff that traps a person in a life of addiction. And I just try to shine a light. I try to shine a light the best I can. I'm not a perfect shining example of recovery. I don't have $1 million home. I don't drive some sweet ass car, but I got a nice ass apartment, and I got a nice ass car, and I got my doggies, and I got a fiance, and I got a job, and I got a career. And like, I might not be this freaking living, some crazy dream, but I feel like I'm living a reasonably achievable life. Like, this is something that you can do. No matter who you are, you can turn it around. You can start working. Obviously, I didn't get here overnight. I spent over a year sleeping on my best friend's couch. Yeah, like a lot of stuff that had to go in to get me to where I am. I mean, on Friday, I'll have 6 years meth free. 6 years of this recovery stuff on Friday. That's crazy to me. Mind-blowing stuff. I'm excited for it. Yeah, the first 97 days of my recovery were in a steel cell. That's for sure. I was in a jail cell. I didn't go to rehab. I got locked up. And I did not want recovery for those first 97 days, but they say actions speak louder than words. And I look back at my time in jail, and when I was talking to the other guys in jail, when I was, just sitting around the table in jail talking and sharing stories and stuff, my words were, yeah, when I get out of here, I'm going to freaking get a camper, and I'm going to go rob somebody, and I'm going to get some more meth, and I'm going to learn how to make meth, and I'm going to freaking drive all over the country. Me and the guy that was sharing the bunk next to me, we had this planned out. We're like, he's like, I know a guy we can rob. I know a guy we can get a camper from. Like, we'll start making meth, and we'll just freaking drive across the country, man, and just be tweaked out of our brains, and it'll be Breaking Bad style, Those were my words. My actions were, I was going to NA once a week. I was writing letters to people back home and trying to rekindle relationships from my past that had fallen apart. So my actions were speaking a lot louder than my words. And when I got out, had that chance, had that opportunity to go back to that life. But when I got out, facing the reality of what I had kind of learned in NA from being in there, I'd gone to NA every week while I was in there, and they planted seeds along the way. And then you get out and you're faced with your friends stole all your shit. Your friends went to your house and took stuff out of your bedroom. Your friends were lying to your dad and my friends would come to my dad's house and tell him, oh, I left some stuff in Maddie's room. And he was like, oh yeah, go ahead, go get it, and they would go in there and just take whatever they wanted. I guess this happened on 2, maybe 3 occasions where friends of mine, threw my pen, friends of mine showed up at my dad's house and just would leave with a duffel bag full of my stuff. So when I got out of jail, all of my stuff, even though I was an active addict and I lived with my father, so it's not like I had a lot of stuff, but you know how meth heads are. I had about 1 million flashlights and 14 backpacks and a bunch of old connector wires for electronic equipment. All my stuff, man, I just had stuff, but all of it was gone, which is awesome because I didn't need any of that shit, but when you're facing it though, it doesn't feel awesome. That's like, that was my stuff. And these guys all stole this from me. And these were the people that I was surrounding myself with. These were the people that I called my friends. And my girlfriend at the time was cheating on me. And like, you find out all this stuff. And when I got out and it all became, I knew some of it was happening, but I didn't know about all of it. And then when I got out and had to actually face the reality that this was happening, that was huge. That was huge. And that's when I realized, like, instead of going back to the old life, I didn't want to go back to that. And I called who's now my best friend, Ryan. I called him and came down here and stayed on his couch, to just give it a shot. And the rest is history. And that was 6 years ago, man. You proved them wrong, says Pam, but maybe they were using reverse psychology. Ooh, well, at least it went reverse psychology for me. So that for me, I'm very thankful that it went that way. I really am. I don't think he was trying to use reverse psychology. I think he was being a dick. But it obviously worked that way for me. And I'm very thankful that I've had a few different things that happened through my recovery where I found out things. And I've realized that it's all on you. Like, you're going to find out things that can either give you hope or steal your hope. And it's up to you to make a decision on that one of which way you're going to go. Like, for instance, the whole 2% thing, right? I got it. Oh, not that arm. This one. I got it tattooed on my arm. I don't necessarily know if this is a true statistic, but they say that only 2% of meth addicts ever make it into long-term recovery. So that's why I got 2% tattooed on me, because if it is a correct statistic, then I'm really proud of myself for being one of the 2%ers. But if it's an incorrect statistic, then I would love to see all of the meth heads who've ever found long-term recovery to have this tattoo, so that you could see how many people actually have made it into long-term recovery and see that it's actually way more than 2%. You know what I mean? But that's just one of those statistics, one of those limiting beliefs that they put on us. But yeah, I've had people, I made a post about it when I got the 2% tattoo, and made a post that, that they say that only 2% of meth addicts make it into long-term recovery. So I got this tattooed to celebrate it. And somebody commented on it and said that you really shouldn't tell people that because it could make someone lose hope. And I had to look at that from an outside perspective and realize that I can see that. But when I heard that in early recovery, right? I heard that only 2% of meth addicts ever make it into long-term recovery. I heard that only one out of 10 people makes it the first 90 days. I heard all of those terrible statistics, that it takes up to 2 years for you to regain your cognitive function, like all of that stuff I heard. And those are facts or statistics. I don't want to call them facts because they might not be correct, but those are ideals that a person could lose hope hearing that. I got to go 2 years before I get my cognitive function back. Only 2% of meth addicts make it into long-term recovery. Only 1 in 10 people makes it the first 90 days. You could lose hope in that, or you can find determination in that and say, damn, that's a small window that I got to make it through. So I'm going to work my ass off to make sure that I am one of the 2%, that I am that 1 out of 10 that makes it the 90 days, that I do make it the 2 years so that I can regain my cognitive function. You can either use those facts to hold you back, or you can use them to push you forward. And that choice is on you. But what I found with that, when that person commented that and told me that it could make someone lose hope, I replied and told her I suppose I could see that. But for me, this fact gave me motivation. It pushed me to make sure that I made it to be one of that 2%. And then she revealed to me that the person that it made lose hope was her. And that's why she made the comment. It wasn't because she felt that somebody else might lose hope because of that. It was because she had a loved one who is in an active meth addiction. And when she's seen my post that only 2% ever make it into long-term recovery, it crushed her heart to hear that her loved one only has a 2% chance of making this, So that really changed my perspective on that, and really made me see that, wow, I can see how that really could have hurt you. But that has that comment really, I love that I remember that so well, because that comment really helped my heart to show empathy to people who comment on my posts with an opposite idea. You know what I mean? Because as a content creator, comments can be scary. Sometimes comments can be really negative, and they can really go against your message, or again, or say that, whatever, they can put limiting thoughts in you and stuff like that. And when she first commented and said, you shouldn't make posts like this because that could make someone lose hope, it riled me a little bit. I was kind of like, don't tell me what not to post on my page, for one. And how do you know, you can't put your limiting beliefs on others and say that, oh, that might make them lose hope, So I got ruffled. My feathers got ruffled. But I, of course, took a minute, paused, thought about what she had said, seen it from the other side, seen it from the other perspective, and then took a second to reply to her and let her know I did. And then when she told me that she was the one who lost hope of it, like, man, talk about like an eye-opening reply when she sent me that back, that she was the one that has a loved one that this made her lose a little hope. It was like, oh, like that hit me right in the soul, and really humanized the commenters for me, because on social media, it can be very easy to fall into that thought of dehumanizing commenters, because so often on social media, you see people that are just assholes and that are just out to comment and start a fight, and that are just out to disagree with shit and just out to prove their point. And it gets in your head and makes you start to think that everybody's a bunch of assholes sometimes. So comments like that really bring the humanity back into it, and really remind you that these are people. These might be, you might think, internet, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's real easy in today's society to dehumanize the people in your comment section and stuff. Brandy, what happened? Oh, it didn't work. If you're asking about what happened, if you're talking to me anyways, I should have my phone up here so I can see the replies. If you're asking why I'm not live on Sealed Lips Destroy right now, is because it didn't work. We tried to make it work, and it didn't. It just would not allow me to go on to her live video. So we're going to reschedule that one, and I'll get on Sealed Lips Destroy eventually. But since I was all ready to go live and stuff, I figured I might as well come here and just hang out with you guys for a little bit. Let's see. Let me pull this up over here so I can see comments and reactions and all that stuff. It's going to be loud for a second, I think. Nope. Volume was good. Good. There we go. What's up, everybody? There. Now I can see the reactions coming up. Good. That's good to see. That's good to see. Joanne, you rock, Maddie. Aw, thanks, Joanne. I appreciate that. Let's see. Maddie, our friend, just walked out of Walmart with their bike, says Pam. Oh, right on. That's awesome. I'm so glad we got that figured out, Pam. You're the best. You're the best. Michael, also love you guys always. Watch and listen. God bless you, Matt. God bless you, Michael. Matt, can you keep April 27th open on your calendar? We'll message you later with details. April 27th. What is April 27th? March. April 27th is a Thursday. I'll pencil something in there, Matt. I will write something on there so I know. But go ahead and message me, bud. Oh, I threw my pen. That's right. Message me and let me know what you got in mind there, man. But I will write your name here. So get in there so that I don't schedule something on it. There we go. Bam. How are you guys doing? Anybody out there got anything you want to say or add to what I've been saying here, or just a question, or what you're up to in your world, anything like that? Go right ahead and throw those comments up. I'd love to see it, hear it, talk to you. Randy, what happened to the live on the other page? I just got back from my volunteer job. Yeah, it didn't work. Didn't work. Zuckerberg is what happened. Zuckerberg is exactly what happened to our live video. We tried to use the green guy to join the live, just go right through Facebook, and then she made the live, and then I popped in and tapped the little green guy, and then she hit accept, and then it said adding on her side, and my side did nothing. Nothing at all. Just sat there watching the live video. So then we tried it sideways. She ended, or well, first we tried sideways. That was our first idea, because when you go with your phone sideways, then you can do like we are now, where we're at the top of the screen and it would be side by side when you hit the green guy. But Zuckerberg sucks, and he doesn't know how to make a platform work correctly, which is why I use StreamYard for bringing my guests on, which is a huge reason why I use StreamYard in general. Now, lately, I've been using StreamYard for all of my lives, because Zuckerberg, when I hit live on my phone, it doesn't always go live, and it says live and everything looks fine, but then I go to my page and it's not actually live. It's not actually working. Other times, the issue we had today with Anna, where you try to bring a guest on and it just doesn't work for whatever reason, or you finally get somebody on and then it does the top and bottom screens, where the guy on the bottom has the comments across his face and nobody can see them. The audio always sucks. Like it is back in the day. You guys remember back in the day when live videos had the green guy, and if I was full screen on the phone, right, and then I had a guest on, they would appear in a tiny little window in the corner. Up in the corner, my guest would come on up there. And back then, Facebook Lives worked great to bring a guest on. And then they did away with that for a while. There was no guests available whatsoever at all. And that's when I found out about StreamYard and started using StreamYard. And then eventually, all of a sudden one day, I think it was Krista Turner went live, and she was like, "Oh my God, guys, they brought the green guy back." And I went on to her video, and she had me click the thing, and it brought me up above and below. And I was like, well, this is kind of lame. And they've just never been able to figure it out since. They've never been able to figure it out since. Zuckerberg. Patrice, I'm super late, but I made it. I was watching someone tell their story. I was supposed to be telling my story this morning. But nope. No, Zuckerberg didn't want that to happen. He said no. He was like, "Maddie, I'm sick of your shit. You talk too much shit about me. I'm not going to allow you to go on other people's pages and talk more shit about me. You can just go on your own page and talk shit about me over there, and I won't tell anybody that you're live, and it's fine." Zuckerberg, he's such a prick, man. Such a prick. Whatever, though. Whatever. All these frickin'... I did look for it and didn't see you or Anna, so yep, didn't work. But that's all right. That's all right. We're going to reschedule. We're going to try again in the future. She's going to check into StreamYard and see if maybe that's an option. She could get a StreamYard account or something, or we'll just see if the green guy works in the future or whatever the thing is. We'll try and get it to work. But for now, we're just going to say, whatever, call it kaputs. You know, obviously everything happens for a reason. So maybe we'll just accept this loss, and it could turn out wonderful. You never know. You never know. So yeah, we'll get that scheduled in the future. What else do we got coming up? Anna will be coming on here eventually to share her story too, but that's not until April 2nd when Anna will be coming on. And she'll be on April 2nd at noon. But we'll have to get something else scheduled for me coming on Sealed Lips Destroy. I really love that page, and I love the name of that page, Sealed Lips Destroy. And I was going to explain that a little bit today, why I love that name so much, but unfortunately didn't work, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm trying not to get butthurt about it. Can you guys tell? I'm trying really hard to not get butthurt by Zuckerberg and his stupid bullshit about making that live video not work. Trying to stay cool about it. Okay? Not gonna be a victim. I chose this path. I chose this career path. So I am not a victim in this, all right? But I was going to explain when I was on there that Sealed Lips Destroy, what that name makes me think of every time I hear it is my own relationship that I was in my active addiction for several years. I was in a relationship with a narcissistic manipulator. And she really ran me through the ringer and caused a lot of mental issues that I still deal with to this day. And while I was going through that relationship, I didn't talk about it. I didn't tell anybody what was going on behind closed doors. I didn't tell anybody about all the stuff that she was doing, and that, the messages that she was sending to other guys, and the any of the stuff that I had actually physically found evidence multiple times, found evidence that these things were happening. But instead of either leaving her or telling people, I fell into thinking and feeling that if I opened up about it, people would think I was dumb. And people would say, well, you're an idiot. Why didn't you leave her before, or whatever. I got this idea that I couldn't talk about it because then people would lose respect for me and people would think I was stupid. So instead, I just bottled it all up. And then I also had this crazy inner longing to have a good relationship and to have a good person on my side, And sometimes we get so desperate to have those things that we just lie and say that we do. Plus I had put a lot of cards in this person's basket. A lot of people had told me she was a bad news bears and that I shouldn't be in this relationship. And I stuck up for her and said, no, we're good. It's not, all that stuff's not true, blah, 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 blah. So then when shit really hit the fan and everything went to shit, I felt like I would be called a liar or something, because here for years I've been telling everybody, oh no, we're good, everything's good. Don't worry about us, we're good. And I just ended up keeping myself in a really shitty place, in a really shitty relationship, and getting treated like dirt for years because I didn't open up and tell anybody what was actually happening. So that's what Sealed Lips Destroy really makes me think of. So if anyone out there is involved in such relationships, like, it's important to just talk about stuff. It's important to tell people what's actually going on in your life. And nobody's, they might think you're kind of stupid, whatever. But it's better to have people, don't worry about what people think about you. There's a big lesson to take away from that. Don't worry about what people think about you. Get help and get out of those situations, because you don't deserve to be treated like that. You don't deserve it. And everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. So if you told everybody that this was the right one, and even you yourself want to believe that this is your person, you got that old school romantic mindset where you want your happily ever after. You want it so bad that you're willing to lie and say you have it even when you don't, It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to realize that wasn't the person. It's okay to realize, even if you've gone down a road for a long ways, it's okay to all of a sudden realize this road isn't taking me where I want to go, and turn your ass around and walk back. Like, that's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with realizing that you're wrong. You were on the wrong path, even if you swore up and down that you were on the right path, don't worry about what people think about you, and try to let go. You'll just have to make amends for the fact that you were lying and making shit up, or saying that everything was good when everything really wasn't good. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody understands that, you want that good life, you want it. So it's understandable. It's actually really, even though it's kind of a shitty thing to lie and say that we have a good life when we don't, it's understandable. And it's totally, like, it's actually kind of a beautiful thing, that you want that good life so much that you're willing to lie and say you have it even if you don't. It's a really awesome thing, really, if you break it down. So don't feel bad about it. You just got to do you, and you can live your best life, and don't let those people hold you back. Don't get yourself so stuck with people and trying to, you know what I'm saying. And guys can have that shit happen too. A lot of people think that guys don't, that guys won't get abused, or when you think of a manipulative narcissist, a lot of times it's a guy that you think of. It's a woman in an abusive relationship, and the guy is gaslighting her and treating her like shit. It happens the other way too. You will have a guy who gets completely taken advantage of by a woman. And manipulative narcissists will use your heart against you. They will use all of that against you, man. So get help, talk with others, share what's going on in your life. Be real about it, because you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to live that way. You don't deserve to be talked to that way. You don't deserve to be gaslit. You don't deserve to walk on eggshells worrying about freaking somebody else out. There's a lot of shit that happens in those kind of relationships that really suck. And trust me when I say that fear of being alone, and that fear of what people will think of you if you tell them what's actually going on, that fear will melt away so fast. When you actually come out and talk about it, that fear of all that stuff will go away. And you are so much better off on your own than to have somebody who's going to hold you back. And you'll find that quickly, especially if you're involved with a manipulative narcissist who's cheating on you and leaving you alone and like treating you like dirt in a sense, you know. It's so much better to be alone when you're single and you're supposed to be alone than it is to be alone when you're in a relationship and there's somebody who's supposed to be there for you and they're not. That's the worst kind of loneliness there is. So you are so much better off to get out of that relationship and be lonely because you don't have a significant other. That's a way better loneliness to have. Way better. Joanne, yes, better alone than in a toxic situation. Definitely, definitely. And from there, you can start working your way up, you know. Brandy, other people's opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and they all stink. Yeah, other people's opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, they all stink except for mine. Yeah, Darlene, yes, it does. I'm looking for a new apartment due to living with a female narcissist. Hey, amen. More power to you. More power to you to break free from that life. I tell you what, you're going to be so much happier. And the really shitty thing is, like, especially those of us who are logical thinkers and those of us who are willing to change our behavior if we are presented with evidence that our behavior is being detrimental to us or someone else, we are willing to make those changes, and we will change it because we're like, oh my God, I never realized I was affecting you that way. I will totally change. You're going to get really screwed over by a narcissist because you have that mindset that, so when you feel on the other side of that, what you feel is that if I can prove it to them, if I can call them out, if I have enough proof, if I get, you know, that message that I can screenshot that message from that girl that he's talking to, or that man that she's talking to, or whatever, if I present them with undeniable evidence that I know that they're lying, they will admit it, and then they will change their behavior. And that is not the truth. You will come to them with the most bulletproof evidence of your life, and they will spin it on you that, why are you going through my phone? You don't fucking trust me. It's your fault that this is happening because of this trust issue that you have with me. You should stay out of my phone. Why are you doing this to me? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I see. If I talk to somebody other than you, I'm being manipulative. Sorry, I'm such a manipulator. Oh, I'm so sorry that I made you feel that way. And now all of a sudden, you're right back into that toxicity. You brought them another reason to be a dick to you. So don't worry about getting the proof. Don't worry about getting them to own up to it. A lot of us fall victim to that I want to hear you say it mentality. I want to hear you admit what you did wrong. I want you to apologize to me. That kind of an attitude will keep you in a shitty situation. You don't need an apology. You don't need them to accept what they've done. You don't need any of that. All you need to know is that you don't deserve it, and get the fuck out of there, man, because they are going to drag you through hell, dude. They won't admit it. That's part of being a narcissist. They don't own their own problems. They put their problems onto other people. They're the victim in every situation, and they will manipulate it. They will twist it. Even if you have bulletproof evidence of what's going on, they will use your love against you, because even when you have bulletproof evidence of what's going on, still, because we're old school romantics, we don't want to believe the evidence. We don't want to believe it. We don't want to believe that they're cheating on you. You don't want to believe that they were doing the wrong thing. You don't want to believe that they were getting dope or whatever. So because we don't want to believe it, as soon as they present even a little bit of they give you just that little bit of doubt, like, here's this message that you got from this other person, implying sexual things. And the funny thing is that they almost watch their steps before they make them, right? Like they know that they can't word the message to their secret lover and say, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with you and leave my lover or leave my significant other for you and have sex with you and cheat on them. They twist it when they message the person so that if you find the text message, they can use that little bit of doubt and say, no, see, it was just a joke, because see right here, I said, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I didn't say that I was definitely going to go do it or nothing. It was just a joke. It was just a thing. It wasn't a real thing. And gaslight the shit out of you and use your empathy and use your heart and use your own doubt for the situation against you. And now, because you didn't want to believe it and they told you it didn't really happen, that validates it. And now all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was just a stupid joke, but hey, you shouldn't make jokes like that with people. Okay, I won't make jokes like that with people anymore. When really it wasn't a joke. They really cheated on you. They really did the thing. They screwed you over, and now they used your love and your doubt against you, and now you're stuck in this situation, and you're still going to stay in that situation. I understand it. I ain't trying to make you feel dumb. If anybody out there has gone through this in the past, or if you are going through this, I ain't trying to make you feel dumb. I'm trying to just say that I've been there. I've felt that manipulation. I've felt the twisting. I've seen what happens at the end of it, and I can tell you that it doesn't get better. There's no changed behavior. There's no apology. There's no happy ending in that story. The only happy ending you can get out of that story is if you leave, so that they don't leave you and break your heart. That's the best way you can make this for yourself, is you leave them. You leave them. And then you can never go back to that person, so that they learn the lesson. Because if you ever decide that you think they've learned their lesson and you're going to go back to that person, all you did was teach them that if they just, whatever they did to get you to come back worked, and then they're going to treat you like that shit again, because it's really hard to change your patterns with people. Like, the lesson that they need in order to maybe make them change so that they treat the next person okay is never talking to you again. That is the punishment they deserve. That is the worst punishment you could ever do to somebody, because you're an amazing person and everyone deserves to have a friend like you. And by you taking yourself away from that person, that's one hell of a punishment. They no longer have you in their corner. That would suck. I love you guys, and I love having you guys in my corner. I would hate to have you guys punish me that way, So that's the punishment that person deserves. That's the punishment that person needs. And it's very possible that if you give that punishment and don't back on it, that maybe they will change and the next person won't have to put up with the same bullshit that you did, but it's done. It's done. It is no longer your problem. Run away. Run as far as you can and find somebody who treats you right. Darlene, speak the truth. You're so right on. They also find faults in everything you say or do. Amen. Amen. Darlene, she never thinks is she ever wrong. Is horrible. I live completely in my room. I even have my own refrigerator in my room because of her. That's a toxic situation that you're finding yourself in. So I encourage you and I support you fully in your decision to find a new place to live. Brandy, I find I'm not alone. I have not once ever felt alone since being in recovery. Right on. I love that. Brandy, I have raised the bar today. Not just anyone is going to make the cut. To get that close to me and my children today. Right on, Brandy. That's awesome. Keep that bar held high. And I love what you said there. I find I'm not alone. I have not once ever felt alone since being in recovery. It's funny how much credit us humans put in being in a relationship. right? To the point where we say that. We say, if we're not in a relationship, we say, well, I'm alone, or I don't have anybody, and that's not a true statement. You're not alone. You do have people. You just don't have a significant other. But we put so much value in having a significant other in this world that if we don't have a significant other, we look at it as I'm alone or I don't have anybody, which is not true. You have friends, you have family members, you have people, but you just don't have a significant other, and that's okay. You're not alone though. Brandy, my ex used his narcissistic behavior to manipulate the court and took my daughter away till she's a legal adult. But this is not forever. Yes, I hurt, but it's not forever. And I know when my time will be to talk with my daughter again. Right on, Brandy. That really does suck, but I love your outlook on it. Darlene, pray for me to get an apartment ASAP. Keep praying for me. I definitely will, Darlene. I really am sorry to hear that you're in such a crappy situation right now. And I'll definitely pray that the Lord sends you all the help and the resources and everything you need to get out of that situation and get yourself somewhere where you are treated like the person that you deserve to be treated like. You guys do deserve awesome stuff. Don't ever think that you don't deserve awesome stuff. Like, you're an amazing person. You're a beautiful soul, and you deserve good things. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with me here for a while and let me vent and get all that. And we got some good conversation there. So I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Am I doing anything special? Nothing special, but hopefully I remember to take my teeth out tomorrow for Toothless Tuesday. So, so come on by tomorrow evening between 6 and 8 o'clock, somewhere in there. I will be going live. Make sure you click the bell on this video, touch your screen, touch up on the video there. It'll bring up some controls. One of them will be a little bell. You click that little bell and then you'll get notified when I go live. So sometime between 6 and 8 o'clock tomorrow night, I'll be live and I'll hang out with you guys then. I hope you guys have a good day. Until tomorrow, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay clean.